the thing that I guess upsets me whenever I see you posting about Dogecoin and things like that
Huh?
is I assume that you understand that Bitcoin has this layer 2 lightning network
Yeah, of course.
that immediately settles.
But it's very nascent, and you can see that, right? And I understand what Stacks is trying to do, and I follow Stacks, and I've looked at applications on it, but it's very, very nascent, and people have been talking about Lightning since 2018, right? So this is nothing new. And just like a lot of Ethereum compatible, or let's just say smart contract compatible blockchains, there's a lot of talk, but there's just no real applications that are being used. And a part of
Yep.
that, because you guys have done such a good job selling Bitcoin as a store of value.
Yeah, but the when I'm looking at what Bitcoin's going to solve, like I'm not concerned about getting transactions for buying equity at zero fees, right? Like that's not a problem I need solved by some decentralized smart contract layer. I don't need that solved. You already have that today. It's zero fees, right? Why
Right.
do I need? Am I concerned that these exchanges are going to take my equities? No, I'm not concerned about that. The issue at hand is the fact that you have the debt market being manipulated for 40 plus years, so much so that they've bid the prices of the bonds to the moon and yields are compressed down to 0%. And we're starting to see social unrest all over the planet because it's been manipulated so bad. So like what's being solved, I think, is the first thing we've got to ask ourselves.
Okay.
And then we have to ask ourselves, well, what is the thing that's going to supply that solution in a decentralized way that nobody can screw with?
Okay. First, like I just tweeted about the myth, the person, the legend. A lot of that is just what you just said, right? So yeah, no one's disagreeing that there's a whole lot of money driving down interest rates, driving up the price of bonds, treasuries, everything. But that's happened before, many times.
Not
Right.
really. Not really. If you go back to the 1980s, the 10-year treasury was at 16%. So it was super low. What are you talking about?
Yeah, and then in 2010, 2011, they tried everything but a helicopter drop to push down rates to stimulate the economy.
Yeah, and they've never stopped.
Well, no, they reduced it some, and then we almost got to a break-even budget.
How can you say they've reduced it when the 10-year treasury is at 1.5% right now, Mark?
Now, you said that it hasn't happened before, and I'm telling you it has. And so, while yes, we can argue about quantitative easing, and yes, that's a giveaway for rich people and accelerates the pricing of assets, including Bitcoin, then the next question becomes, Bitcoin has no. So let's just another myth, gold. The exact same thing you just said is exactly what gold fanatics say. Prior to Bretton Woods, prior to 1973, we didn't have A, B, or C. And when we got off the gold standard, everything went to hell. And when everything goes to hell, you want gold. It's bullshit, but that's what everybody says. And that's the selling pitch for gold, right?
Well, I don't own gold, and I think gold has issues because it always requires a trusted agent. That's why I don't think that it's a good store of value.
Gold bars in your house?
No, of course not.
Of course you can.
No, I thought you said, do I have gold bars
No.
in my house? And I said, no, of course I don't.
All right. So, but the question is, can you? And the question I asked is, don't gold?
But that's at it. But Mark, so listen. So what you're talking about is at an individual level. What I'm talking about is at a sovereign level.
No.
Gold has always failed and always will fail because it requires a trusted agent.
No, you're wrong, right? Because first of all, it doesn't require a trusted agent. People can own physical gold at the consumer level.
At a sovereign level, it always requires a trusted agent in order to stand up a currency on top of it.
No, the United States of America and other countries own gold.
Yep.
They own bars and bars of gold, and it's not used as anything. It's there
because it requires a trusted agent, and because they manipulated the money multiplier from 1940 to 1981, they had to come off the gold standard, and we've been in a fiat society ever since.
That's no reason. Again, that is absolutely no explanation for why any country needs to own gold. None. There's nothing, there's no correlation, there's no connection, there's no causation between what has happened since 1973 and why nations gold. None.
Mark, if you're trying to make the argument that gold's worthless, I agree with you.
No, I'm just saying, whether it's Bitcoin or gold, it works the same way.
No, it doesn't, because Bitcoin does not require trust like gold requires trust to stand up a currency on top of it. That's
Gold is,
just a fact.
you're making that up. Gold does not require, it doesn't. Tell me where gold requires currency. It doesn't.
Gold does require. How are you going to go and buy a Starbucks coffee with? You're going to go there with a knife and try to shave it off a gold bar in a minuscule amount so that it amounts to the purchase. That's the whole reason currencies have been stood up on top of gold for millennia, is because it's not divisible like Bitcoin down to 10 to the negative eighth unit.
So how are you going to take a Bitcoin if Lightning Network can only support how many transactions per second and really isn't even stable, and we don't even know if it'll hold up?
Mark, what do you think?
100
Mark,
million transactions per second actually in Lightning.
Okay, we can get there, right? Now everybody has to use.
Mark, what do you think the growth rate is on Lightning right now?
Oh, it's enormous because it's starting from a small base.
It's at 4% per week.
Yeah, it's enormous. It's starting from a small base.
Why do you think that's happening so abruptly all of a sudden?
Because it doesn't take many transactions, and you got El Salvador trying.
Bingo.
Yeah, trying, but it certainly hasn't been easy, right? And so you're seeing. If you look at any blockchain, level 1 or level 2, when they introduce new applications, they all get tried out, particularly when you've got a lot of people work. But again, so let's just take your point. It's hard to shave, but you can convert gold coins. And so just like you can have somebody mining, you can have somebody minting gold coins. A lot more, resources to do that, but they did it in the 1800s. They did it in the 1900s. So it's not possible.
Mark, to have a currency that's issued by a government that's backed by gold, it requires trust for the person to manage that ledger.
No one's talking now any more than they're talking about using Bitcoin on top of Lightning.
Yeah, but the difference, Mark, is whenever I open a channel on Lightning, I have an undefinitized contract that I write on the layer 1 so it can't be reused, right?
Yeah.
Like I could send you could download a Blue or Mun wallet right now. I could send you 1/4 of a cent, right? I could send it to you instantly and you would receive it. The fees are nothing.